Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Sasha Biello. I'm the Director of Adult and Recreation Services. I'm so happy you guys could join us tonight. We're going to talk about VIP, which I know I saw a couple students today on campus who are very excited to be here tonight. So I'm glad to get started and fill you guys in on some details. So just an agenda for tonight. I'm going to give a brief welcome and introduce some people that are here with me tonight. We'll go over the program, talk about some business partners, go over a tentative VIP schedule, talk about everyone's favorite, the independent living experience, some COVID protocols, should we need them, next steps, and then we'll have some time at the end for some questions and answers. So as I said, I'm Sasha Biello. I'm the Director of Adult and Recreation Services. So you've probably been getting emails from me about paperwork and orientation and those sorts of things. So I do a lot of the background work for VIP and the prep work ahead of time. But the real boots on the ground are the following people that I'm going to introduce. So Michelle Seal is here. She is our Supervisor of Specialized Recreation Services. So she handles the day-to-day stuff for VIP. As well as our recreation programs. So those are our respite retreats, summer camp, Fenwick trips, our adult social activities. So she's a busy woman, but she took time to be here tonight, so I'm thankful for that. We also have our VIP coordinator, who will be, as some of you have already been speaking with, Maria Pasquarello. So thank you, Maria, for taking on that role this year. That's really helpful. You might also recognize some names here. We have our job coaches for VIP, are Aaron Boring, Janice Hickey, and Nate Estock. So thank you all for joining us tonight. They're all going to help me out if I miss anything or want to give more details about some experiences they've had from their perspective in the past with VIP. So just a little overview about VIP. This is our 7th year, so that's really exciting. VIP has been serving young adults ages 18 to 24 for 7 years. That's unbelievable. So this year is our largest group for VIP. So Michelle and I were very excited to see so many applications come in. We have accepted 22 participants this year. I believe 21 will be joining us as of right now. So basically what we do with VIP is, many of you might be familiar with CBVT at the Vanguard School through VTC. This is similar to that, except it's more intensive, which is where we get the name, well, it's more immersive, I should say, where we get the name Vocational Immersion Program. So CBVT, while you're at school, you go to different sites and you spend a little time there. For VIP, it's more condensed, meaning we do it in a shorter amount of time and you spend more time there than you would during a school day. So we like to make it feel like you're going to work every day and you have a job, and you know, we're kind of mimicking what it's going to look like for you when you're out of school. So what we basically do is, each business partner we have, and we'll go over those later on in the slideshow, each business partner takes 2 or more participants at their site. We send our job coaches with them, with the students, and in that setting, they're involved in various meaningful educational and vocational experiences at that job. So depending what the job site is, everyone's going to be doing different job tasks. With VIP, you're assigned to 1 business partner for the 4 weeks. Because it's such a short window of time, we want you to be in a place where you can learn your job tasks and learn to do them well in that 4 weeks, rather than jumping you all over the place. The other goal of VIP is to make sure you're doing something that you're not used to doing. So if at CBVT, you're at United Sports, sorry, don't expect to go to United Sports for VIP. So we're going to try to put you in someplace different so that you get an opportunity to try out different things, because you might think you don't want to try a job site and then you go there and you find out you really like it. So we like to do that in this setting where you're with people that you know and you're familiar with and you're supported, so that if you're having a hard time, they can be there to help you. And this is the time to try things out before you're out there in the real world learning at a real job. The one thing I do want to note before I move on is, you'll see at the bottom a little note there. Since most, if not all of you, I believe, are coming to VIP as an ESY program through school district, through your IEP, please note that because of the nature of VIP, we are not able to offer PT, OT, speech, any of those related services in the IEP. So you need to be aware of that now. Just by the nature of we'll be running from job sites and seminars, there isn't time in the schedule to work that out. Okay. Just to give you an idea of our participant profiles, so all of our participants are between the ages of 18 and 24. I actually don't think we have anybody over the age of 21 this year. Everybody in our group has some sort of diagnosis. That could be autism spectrum disorder, it could be a learning disability, or some sort of related social challenge. So we're all in this together. You all were referred by your school counselor. I didn't get any from a vocational rehab counselor, so everyone here was referred by their school counselor. You've all had some sort of previous vocational experience, meaning it could be at school, it doesn't have to be a certain amount of hours, it just means you've all had at least a little bit of experience doing some sort of work or volunteering. Each of you have demonstrated through at least what we've read in your application and through speaking with school staff, that you've demonstrated some emerging problem solving and self-advocacy skills. So we're going to continue to help you grow those as well. You're all motivated to do the job well, and you're all going to benefit from ongoing supports from our job coaches. So we're looking forward to helping you guys grow in some of these areas as well. I just want to go over some of the curriculum we'll be using in our seminars. So one of the main curriculum we use is Job Tips. This is an online program, so it walks participants through different real life work scenarios. So it gives examples, it gives videos, it gives resources and exercises, and our job coaches work closely with the students to work through some of this curriculum. So each student will have a computer and they'll have access to this software while they're in the program. Another curriculum we use is Skills to Pay the Bills. This curriculum is provided by the Office of Disability Employment Policy. That's a really long name. Basically, they work with the Department of Labor and they help people with disabilities in finding jobs. So this particular curriculum focuses on soft skills. So we're going to look at communication, attitude, teamwork, problem solving, professionalism, those sorts of things. So this is really helpful as we prepare to go from just seminars into the actual work site and help them prepare on how to deal with different situations when they're there. So those are the two main curricula. We do pull some other resources from the Vanguard School that they might use in VTC or in their career programs, but those are the two primary curriculum we use. Now here's the most exciting part, well, one of the most exciting parts. Everyone's very excited to hear who the business partners are for this year. So our first business partner is Starbucks. If you have done VIP in the past, you know Starbucks has been with us, I want to say 3 or 4 years now, maybe longer, but I think maybe 4. So Starbucks has been a great partner with us, not to be confused with Starbucks. Starbucks is a used bookstore that's in Royersford, Pennsylvania, obviously. They've been great with us. They're very small, family owned. They work alongside, our participants will work alongside store staff. They'll be doing things like sorting books, stocking shelves, updating databases, and if you're comfortable, maybe trying the cash register. So it's a retail setting. Students go in there throughout the program, and because it's a smaller store, we can only take a couple students there each year. They just don't have enough work for a large group to do. So this would be a place that's going to be quieter. It's going to have only a couple students there with a job coach. So if you've done Starbucks in the past, you most likely will not be doing Starbucks this year. So we were trying to switch students out to people who have not had this experience yet. Our next business partner is new to us for VIP. They're the Upper Main Line YMCA. They're right around the corner from the Vanguard School in Berwyn. So they are offering us an abundance of different opportunities. So we're so grateful to them. They're offering us such duties as gardening, animal tech assistant, maintaining the cafe, cleaning some exercise machines, and some basic office work. Now, the first thing I thought of when I read this was, what do you mean animal tech? I thought this was the Y. If any of you are familiar with the Upper Main Line YMCA, they actually do have a small farm on the land at the YMCA. So there are animals there, not like Elmwood Park Zoo with like big animals and giraffes and things like that. These are, you know, goats, and they might have chickens and things like that. So there might be some little things we can do there as well. Our next business partner is also very familiar to us, United Sports, and some of you may be familiar with them from school as well. United Sports will be offering such jobs as general maintenance and field work. So when you guys are deciding which sites you're voting on as your top favorites, remember this one does have some outdoor work involved, but it does also have an indoor component. So just make sure you're aware of that when you're making your selections. Elmwood Park Zoo is back this year. So I put the giraffes up here because that was everyone's favorite last year. Elmwood Park Zoo came to us, kind of saved us last year through VIP. We had a last minute business partner pull out at the last minute last year, and Elmwood Park Zoo really stepped up and helped us out in a pinch. So they've been a great partner. They've been really supportive of our participants, and have even continued on working with the Vanguard School through their CBVT program. So we're going back again this year for VIP. So we're very excited. We're going to be doing similar tasks that we did last year. So we're going to be answering guest questions about the animals, managing traffic flow into the barn, handing out lettuce for the giraffe feed, which was a huge hit last year from what I understand. And then any other odd jobs around the zoo that might need to be done. I know last year we did some cleaning and sanitizing and those sorts of things. So that may be on the list as well. This is a job that's primarily outdoors. So make sure you're aware of that as well when you're making your selections. If there is any, you know, reasons that you can't be outside for long periods of time, parents, I ask you to let us know that so that when we're assigning job sites, we're aware of that ahead of time. This is a place where we make sure that we're using, you know, sunscreen every day, and we are, you know, taking lots of breaks. We have water breaks all the time. We're looking for shaded areas to rest. So we're not just leaving them out in the sun all day, but we are all the time, but it's something you should be aware of when making those selections. Our newest site is A&B Media. Again, this is new to VIP, but not so new to some of you through the Vanguard School. So A&B Media is also a bookstore, but a little different from Starbucks. They're not necessarily an on-site retailer, they're an online retailer. So whoever's at this job site is going to be doing some tasks maybe similar to Starbucks as far as scanning books and things like that, but it's more of a warehouse setting. So this is going to be scanning books, but also sweeping floors and doing some warehouse work, maybe some light cleaning, breaking down boxes, things that are just going to help the workflow of the warehouse go more smoothly. So if that's something that might interest you, make sure you're putting that on your list for your choices as well. Speaking of workplace, that's our last business partner. But real quick before I get into the schedule, you guys all received the paperwork. If you haven't received it, please shoot me an email and I will resend it to you. If you need it mailed to you, I have gotten some requests for that. If you need it mailed to you, let me know, and I will be sending out through mail if you need that as well. When students, participants, when you guys are choosing your job sites, remember that those are just your opinions of where you would like to go. You're letting us know, hi, this is where I'd like to go in order from my favorite to my least favorite. That doesn't mean that's where you're definitely going to go. Our staff are going to look at all those choices, because if all of you pick Elmwood Park Zoo, I can't send 21 students to Elmwood Park Zoo. That wouldn't work. So you're all going to send in your votes. Our staff are going to look at it. We're going to look at where you've worked in the past. If you went to VIP before, we're going to look at VIP, where you worked there last year. If you're doing CBVT, we're going to look at where you've worked at CBVT. Because if you remember, I said our goal is to make sure you're somewhere different so that you can get a chance to try something new. So remember, when you're sending those in, that's not definitely where you're going to go. So you're just letting us know what you're interested in, and we will certainly take that into consideration and do our best to place you in one of your top choices. But know that that's just because you're telling us your favorite spot is, you know, Upper Main Line Y, doesn't mean you're absolutely going to end up there. Okay, so just remember that when you're filling out that form for me. Okay, I'm going to go over a tentative VIP schedule. So I broke this down into what the 4 weeks are going to look like. So I need everyone to remember that we're doing 4 weeks of 5 days a week. So you guys are going to go Monday to Friday, but we're only doing 4 weeks. So you guys will be done by the end of July. Okay. So week 1 is going to be full day seminars on the VFES campus. Now, in years past, we used to have an off-site location that was used for our adult service programs in Berwyn. We no longer have that site. We have moved back to campus. So we have reserved the multi-purpose rooms in the activity center. So we will be using that space just for VIP. So we will be doing full day seminars for the first week. So Monday to Friday, we'll be on site doing seminars using that curriculum we talked about earlier in the presentation, job tips, as well as skills to pay the bills and any other activities that we might pull from Vanguard School. Sometimes we do take time on that Friday to go off campus to try to see some of the job sites if they're open to us coming out. So that's not set in stone yet, but for the most part, week 1, we're doing full day seminars. Weeks 2 and 3 are going to be very similar. They're going to be half-day seminars on the campus, usually in the mornings. I know last year we switched it up a little bit because Elmwood Park Zoo would get really warm, so maybe we do that in the morning when it's cooler out and then do the seminars in the afternoon. So we just ask that you be flexible, but ultimately you're spending the same amount of time. You'll do half a day seminar on campus. And then the other half of your day, whether it's morning or afternoon, is going to be at your assigned job site. So that is going to be about 10 to 15 hours a week of work for the second and third week. So each week you'll be working 10 to 15 hours for week 2 and week 3. A little bit about the seminars. These are some of the topics we'll be covering: exploring individual interests, time and resource management, workplace accommodations, soft skills. A big part of it is supervisor interactions. We find that a lot of times that's where, some of our students tend to have hesitancy, and even quite honestly, anybody at that age has hesitancy talking to a supervisor. So learning those skills and how to advocate for themselves, disability rights, effective communication, those sorts of things. Week 4 is our independent living experience week. You'll hear it called different things. Sometimes we call it the residency week or the independent living week. It's all the same thing. So week 4 is our pretty intensive week. So that's going to be moving into Sonesta Suites on Sunday. And we'll get more into that in a few minutes. It's Monday through Friday would be full day work experience. Instead of the half day seminar, half day work experience, it'll be waking up at Sonesta, getting ready for work, packing your lunch, getting to work on time, and then working a good 5 to 6 hours that day, each day for that week. So you'd have a total of 20 to 25 hours worked in that week. That week ends with an awards ceremony that we hold the afternoon on that Friday. Parents, you are definitely invited to that. So that's always a fun way to end our program. We invite our business partners and our parents, and of course, the students are there. Everybody comes and we hand out awards and we say some nice words. We share our experiences with our families and we thank our business partners. So that happens the afternoon on that Friday. Right. Just as a side note, I'm going to give a little bit of information about the independent living experience. It's not going to be very detailed. It's going to give you the dates and what to expect, but I don't want parents to worry or participants to worry. What we typically do is if we found that if we give all the information now, everyone kind of forgets about it by the end of July and needs a refresher. So we're just going to give a completely separate Zoom meeting the week before the residency week so that you guys have it fresh in your head. We'll give you all the nitty-gritty details, things you need to pack, that sort of thing will all be covered in a separate Zoom meeting right before the residency week so that you have all that information ahead of time. And we'll be able to answer more detailed questions. I'm happy to answer questions about it now, just if you need to know, like to prepare for moving forward, but just know that we will be having a more detailed discussion as we get closer to that time. So independent living experience runs July 24th to July 29th. So that is Sunday to Friday. In years past, we've done it a little longer, but with COVID and things like that, we've found making it shorter makes it a little bit easier. So we're moving in Sunday afternoon. And then everyone will stay until we'll move out Friday morning. We'll have luggage in our vans and brought back to the campus. And then the award ceremony happens at the end of the students' workday on campus, and parents can come to the award ceremony, pick up the luggage, and take their students home at the end of that day. So this is where we stay for our independent living week, residency week. It's called Sonesta Suites. If you're not familiar, it's in Malvern near the Wegmans, actually right across the street from the Wegmans. It's basically an extended stay hotel. So each hotel is set up like an apartment. You can kind of see a floor plan up here in the corner. It's set up, you walk in, there's like a little tiny living room with a kitchen. Then there's a bedroom on the right, and then on the left, there's a bedroom that has either 1 or 2 beds in it. Each room will have a staff member on the fold-out sofa, typically, and then students will have a bed. So during our first 3 weeks, students will be choosing what roommates they will have. They'll be planning out meals for the week. They're going to be expected to cook dinner, take turns cooking dinner, take turns doing the dishes, those sorts of things. We always say don't pack too many clothes so they can practice doing their laundry, things like that. So those are all things we'll be working up to throughout the weeks leading up to it, in addition to their work site prep. Let's see, this just talks a little bit about, the recreational activities that are also on campus. So during this week, they have the freedom to do what any adult would do. Well, not any adult would do during the week, but they come home from work and they can relax and do some recreation activities. If they want to, go swimming in the pool, they can do that. There's access to the pool, there's access to a gym, basketball courts. There is a walking trail. I know a lot of times, if not every night, quite a few nights during the week, there's a few staff members who will take a group of students on a walk on the walking trail that's actually right behind the hotel. So they go for a walk after dinner, things like that, or they might relax in their room, read a book, listen to music. But ultimately, the goal is to have them be as independent as possible with tons of staff support that'll be there for the week. But if they choose to stay up all night reading a book or listening to music or watching TV, when they wake up the next morning, there's going to be the natural consequence of, oh, you're really tired today at work. And the goal of having everybody learn from that experience. So the next night they won't stay up so late and be grumpy at work the next day. So that's the setup of Sonesta. So here's the save the date for when we'd be moving in to Sonesta. That it's going to be Sunday, July 24th. Tentative check-in time, we're aiming for 4 o'clock for parents to drop off students. There will be a nurse on hand to accept medication in the original containers. And again, we'll go over all the details of how to handle medications and things like that during our presentation that's specifically for the independent living week. But there will be a nurse there on hand, and we ask that parents stay until the nurse has had a chance to verify all the medication, count out all the pills, and make sure that we have everything correct, so that when you leave, you know that all their medication will be taken care of for the week. If you leave before that, it gets confusing and we might be missing a medicine or we might have questions about it. So if we just ask that you kind of hang around until the medication's been checked, and then you can head out and we will take over from there. Friday, July 29th is check out from Sonesta. Parents should not be at the hotel. You don't need to be there for checkout. We actually ask that you do not be there for checkout. It just makes it easier. You will be able to get their luggage at the end of the day, or if you can't be at the award ceremony, your student will be able to take it home on the bus with them when they go back home. So we will take care of luggage, we pack it in our vans, and our school staff take it back to the Vanguard School for the students. So they don't have to lug it around with them all day. We take it back to campus for them. It's all labeled with their names, and they'll be able to get it at the end of their workday and at the end of the award ceremony. So participants will go to work after checkout until about lunchtime on that Friday. So really they have a half day on that Friday. Then they go to the award ceremony around 1:30 on Friday afternoon. That's on campus. Parents, like I said, are invited to attend. And it's up to you if if they need a ride home or if you take them home. If they will need transportation, we will be asking that you let us know that so that we can verify with the school district. Because VIP is the only program running on Fridays during the summer, we just want to give the districts a heads up. And since they won't be riding the bus on that morning, we want to make sure that the districts are aware if they have to be there to pick a student up. So as it gets closer and you guys firm up your plans, if you don't plan to be at the awards ceremony, we will ask that you let us know as soon as possible so that we can make sure we're notifying the district to make sure that your student has a ride home from the awards ceremony that last day of VIP. COVID protocols. So obviously it goes without saying, we've all been through this for the last 2.5 or so years. I'm going to say this, and you hear this all the time, these are all subject to change based on what the CDC is saying and what our regulations are at the time. As of right now, we do have testing available we partnered with CHOP. We've had this for about a little over a year now, I guess. We are not at this point, that may change, at this point, we are not requiring testing, but we will have tests on hand. So should a student start showing signs of COVID or might be showing symptoms of being sick and we're not sure, if that happens, we will reach out to you, make sure we have your permission to test them, get the necessary documents completed, and we are able to test them. It's a 15-minute nose swab. Well, we don't swab their nose for 15 minutes. It takes 15 minutes to get the results. So that's a quick test to make sure everything's okay. But again, at this point, we're not requiring it. But again, that could change depending on what COVID looks like at the time. As of right now, masks will be required for VIP because it is required for Vanguard indoors. So if they're outdoors, they don't need to be wearing their masks. Right now, it is required for indoors just based on where the numbers are at in our county. So again, if that changes, we will let you know. But as of today, we are saying they will be required indoors for VIP. Symptom tracking, we will not be doing, when COVID first started, everyone was doing temperature checks and symptom checks and those sorts of things. We will not be doing those, but we just ask that families monitor before you put your student on the bus for that day. So if that morning, your son or daughter has a fever, or if they have a cough, or if they're starting to show symptoms, please do not send them. We understand, obviously we don't want other people getting sick. So if your child is sick that day, that's fine. We can catch them up on what they missed when they come back. And then hand washing and social distancing. I feel like that's just become second nature for everybody. So we will be promoting healthy hygiene. We'll have hand sanitizer, hand washing available throughout the day. We'll have them all over the place. We'll have them in the hotel rooms, things like that. Social distancing is certainly, encouraged. So just make sure you're keeping personal space and that sort of thing. And this is just for your reference, just some symptom screening. So we just ask if your student has one or more symptoms from group A to stay home. And if they have 2 or more symptoms from group B, then stay home. Again, if all this changes by then, we'll let you know, but that's kind of where we're at. Unless, of course, there's a pre-existing condition that, you have, the doctor says, oh, well, my son has allergies, so he always has a runny nose in July. Then just let us know that, okay? Next steps, like I said, you guys should have received paperwork. If you did not receive the paperwork, just please shoot me an email, and I'm happy to send it out. There was a list of documents that needed to be completed by the first day of VIP, so you have until July 6th, no rush. But by June 29th, we're just asking, there's 3 online forms. It says today's email, but I didn't send it today. I'm sorry, I should have changed that. I think I sent it last week. There's 3 links in the email that you just click on, and they're online forms. One is for parents to fill out. It just gives us an idea of where you think your student falls in some categories, and then asks you some questions about your student. And then there's a participant form. So we're asking all of our participants, so all you students, please fill out a form so you can let us know where you think you fall in certain areas. And then there's also the job site preference form. So that form is, you're going to click and kind of drag the job site to either the top of the list, which would be your favorite, or drag it to the bottom of the list, which would be your least favorite job site, and then fill in the middle. So you're going to put them in order from your most favorite to your least favorite. And that's for our students to complete. So please complete those by June 29th. I saw some of them already coming in, so thank you guys so much for doing that. But you have till the 29th, so no rush, but if you have any questions or if you can't access them for any reason, let me know. I can print hard copies and send those to you if you prefer that. So just let me know that as well. And then I also sent out an attachment that has a few different documents in there. Those don't need to be returned until July 6th, but if you'd like to return them before that, you absolutely can. Feel free to either email them or mail them in, or you can just hold on to them and send them in with your student on the first day of VIP. That's absolutely fine. I have the VIP handbook on there. I don't think I included that because I found some errors in it. I need to update it a little more, but I will be sending that out, or either that or I will give it to your student on the first day and we'll review it with them, and then you can read it over as well. Let's see. So again, if anyone has questions about any of it, feel free to reach out. If you need hard copies, let me know. I am happy to mail them out to you as well. Okay, I think I've talked quite long enough. If there's any questions, feel free to just go ahead and shoot some questions out there for me, either in the chat, or I think you guys are able to unmute yourself. So you should be able to ask questions.
Hi, Yellow.
Hey, Jeff.
So for new parents, I just put in the chat to you. Don't forget to mention we do it in the cafeteria at the end of VIP, the award ceremony.
Yep, we've done it in the cafeteria in the past, so I'm assuming we'll do it there again, but if that changes, we will definitely be letting parents know if that changes at all. But yes, the award ceremony is, I know the students really enjoyed that last year. Well, they enjoyed every year. We have treats, we usually have cookies and some drinks and things like that, so some snacks, but they get some nice awards and they get to see their business partner supervisors and get to say goodbye to them at the end of the program. So it's always a nice experience. Thanks for the reminder, Jeffrey.
You're welcome.
All right.
So I have a quick question about the meds. My son Nick, he does like all his meds, puts them in the day container thing and does that independently. Do I still need to fill out the form for the nurse and everything like that?
I'm going to say yes, because it's a school sponsored program. We need to at least, now the nurse isn't going to follow him around and give him his medication. All these students are going to be taking it pretty independently. The nurse needs to track, you know, to make sure that we're not giving too much of something, or they're not taking too much of something or too little of something, and we hold on to it just for safekeeping. So we call them all down to one central location. It's only for the residency week, and if they need to take any medication during the school day. So during the residency week, we will say, like, if they have, let's say, dinner time meds, we'll say, okay, anyone who needs dinner time meds, come to X room. And then all the students would go to that room, and the staff member will just hand them, like you said, those containers, the day containers, and the students take their own medication.
Okay, gotcha.
But we do need just to track it for, you know, liability purposes and being a school program. That's why we do it that way.
Okay. So,
Okay, and then the first day is Wednesday, July 6th, and the last day is Friday, the 29th.
yeah, does it start July 6th or July 5th?
July 5th.
Because it's
Okay, because on your previous slide, it said the 6th on
Did
there.
it say
Yeah.
the 6th?
Yeah, first VIP day, it says the 6th.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle.
And
can you-
it's,
I'm pretty
It's
sure it's Tuesday the 5th.
Tuesday
That's what I
the
thought.
5th to July 29th, yes.
Right.
Yes, the 5th. Okay, sorry about that.
For
and
that,
it said the wrong year
We
too.
have to notify our district about transportation.
they should have been notified already by
Okay.
Vanguard. If you want to take the extra step and making sure, because we do anticipate some confusion, because
Yeah.
ESY is 4 days a week and we're 5 days a week.
Right.
I've made sure that in everybody's IEP, it was noted appropriately for VIP as being Monday through Friday.
Okay.
So if you would like to call, that is fine,
Okay.
Nancy. but they have been notified. So, and what you would look like that first day on July 5th when we come in, you'll take your regular bus in, they'll drop you off, and then VIP meets right inside the cafeteria or by the cafeteria picnic tables. And then when all the participants arrive, we'll go into the multi-purpose room and we can start our day. And then we'll dismiss from there too, as well, as far as the cafeteria and the picnic tables there.
Yeah, and Michelle and I have talked about too, even being out there, at least for the first week, to remind bus drivers, hey, don't forget, these students are coming back tomorrow on Thursday, to be out there at bus dismissal on Thursday afternoon, to remind them to bring our students back, even though they won't be bringing the ESY students back. So we have had that discussion too behind the scenes, just on our end of what we can do to kind of help make sure that that's as smooth as possible.
So it's Patty and Marissa. I'm trying to be clear on two different things.
Sure.
Is it our responsibility to make sure that our school district does the busing? Because we've already talked to them about that, but is it our responsibility to make sure the timing works? And then secondly, with the medications, as someone else had mentioned, Marissa has the day boxes, both morning and night. Can we send that in, or do we have to just send in the separate pill bottles? I don't understand that part.
Sure. So the transportation part, the transportation is not your responsibility to set that up. That is written in the IEP. And we have it written in a way that says they would need transportation Monday through Friday for the dates of VIP, with the exception of that last week that they'll be at the residency week. So that has been taken care of, but if you feel more comfortable double checking with your district, you can certainly do that. But we also have our transportation coordinator working with the districts as well to make sure that they're clear on this is VIP, not ESY, so it needs to be 5 days a week. So we're taking it from two angles, but you're certainly more than welcome to reach out to verify, but that is not your responsibility to do that. As far as the medications, again, because it's a school-based program, we have to have the original bottles that the medication comes in. And then we will split it into the daily boxes. So the nurse will come in every day and she splits the medications into the boxes for that day. So we have a nurse coming in every morning for the week of residency week to make sure all the medications are correctly laid out for that day, so that there's no confusion. And that's why we ask the parents stay to talk to the nurse, because that's the nurse that will be there every morning. And you'll be able to explain if there is anything that's different on the label or things like that. You'll be able to talk to her directly. And then the students will take it independently, but because of the school, it's a school-based program, we have to have the nurse have the original medicine bottles. It's part of the policy and the law. We have to see that part of it. And then we can split it from there.
Okay.
And you only have to send in the number of medications that they will need for that week. So you don't have to send in 50 or 25 or
Correct. Yeah.
you can just send in, 5, 6, maybe one extra just in case one drops on the floor, but feel free to just send in a limited amount.
Right, but the nurse will dispense it from the actual prescription bottle to the student and not from our, pill boxes.
Correct. Well, she's going to put it in. I mean, if you want to send your own pill box, that's fine, empty. Then she would put it, if Marissa's used to that specific pill box, where she's dispensing it from the medicine bottles into pill boxes as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Like Sasha said, we need to see the original pill bottle.
Yeah. And so it's morning and evening because Marissa takes both. So
That's
correct.
So the nurse is there at morning and evening, or
the nurse is there in the morning, and then she will distribute into the pill organizer, morning, at lunch, night, night meds, bedtime meds, dinner meds, things like that. And then the coordinator that will be on site, whether it's Maria or our Courtney Lambert would be our hotel coordinator, overnight coordinator. They will call the students down to the room and say, it's time for your meds. Most of the time, obviously the students know when they get their meds, so they come in and they look at they go to the coordinator, and then they'll say, okay, here's your pill box, and then you can take it, just to make sure everything's, safe.
Somebody asked, what time will VIP start? I think it was Mel or Melody asked that.
Yeah.
So it's the same as ESY. So it's 9 to 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Michelle and Sasha, Lorraine, Mrs. Hoffner had a question, and I'm
Ben.
not sure if it's Benji or Thad Brace girl that had a question, but let's go with Lorraine first because I saw her hand raised first. So
Thanks,
Okay.
Maria.
Thanks.
yeah,
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, we just wondered about bringing computers or gaming things for the evening. So that was the question here.
Great question.
That is real life. So absolutely, you know, it's kind of at their own risk. We ask them usually to keep them in their hotel rooms. And there is Wi-Fi at the hotel that we can connect to. But that, again, we are there. We try to do this program as a step, a big step of independence where we're not going to be their mom or dad or saying, hey, it's time to put your computer away. There will be staff there and it's bedtime, you know, it's 10 o'clock or whatever time. And we have to get up in the morning and, you know, I suggest that you get off your computer now, but we're not going to be, you know, on them like we would, and then, you know, if we were at home or, you know, if I was at camp or other places like that, we're really trying to have natural consequences occur. Yeah.
Can I add something on that note
When?
here?
Wait, Nick finished talking.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ben.
When do I find out my VIP job placement?
That's a good question. When is he going to find out his VIP job placement?
Good
That first
question.
week.
Yep.
On that first week, probably Thursday of week 1. Okay.
Thank you.
July
Good question,
7th.
Beth.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then we will, as Sasha said, that hopefully on Fridays, we'll be able to take all the participants to their work site. And then while the participants are at the work site, they will learn what their uniform may be. So it might be business casual, it might be, you know, office casual, you know, it might be because like at Elmwood Zoo, it might be even shorts and a t-shirt because it does get warm out there. Some of the places have a t-shirt that they might give our participants. So we'll learn what we need, you know, in order to start on Monday going to our job site. And then we all typically meet back at Sonesta Suites and then we take a tour of Sonesta so that they can actually see what that looks like.
That is definitely in the first week schedule, hopefully that Friday, to definitely go and visit the job site that you are assigned to. So you get some more detail about, you know, your expectations for that job site. So just to eliminate some stress, we will take you there.
Great, thanks. The other question a lot of participants have every year is lunch. What do we do with lunch? Now this year we are on campus, but really we're only on campus through lunch the first week. The second and the third week, we typically leave before lunch to go to our job sites, and week 4, we're at the hotel. So we'll be packing lunches. So my recommendation is to make things easy is I would pack a lunch every day and just get used to doing that. That way we can ensure that you have, because our lunch times will be completely different than ESY. So this way we make sure that you have, you know, time for your lunch. The other thing a lot of participants ask is what is the dress attire that first week? You can wear whatever you would wear to school. That's fine. So this, you know, as long as you're following the dress code policy for that, for Vanguard, that's absolutely fine that first week.
Sorry, it's Patty and Marissa again. When will they know who their roommates will be in the 4th week?
We usually go over that week 3, sometime about week 3. But if it's sooner, you know, if we discuss it sooner and, you know, make arrangements, we'll let them know as soon as possible. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Jeff.
For the fourth week, so that Sunday, are we gonna get stuff from Wegmans like for
Yep.
lunches?
So you're gonna check in at 4 o'clock. You're gonna put your luggage into your rooms and kind of figure out, set up, and then maybe about 5:30, we'll head over to Wegmans across the street and do our shopping then. So Miss Boring will tell you this when she goes over it, but that first night will be a quick and easy dinner because we're kind of pushing into dinner time because it takes us a good hour to shop. So it might be like 6:30 by the time we get back, 7 o'clock to the hotel. But yeah, we would do our shopping that day, and that way we're all ready. We'll be shopping for our dinners for the week, our lunches for the week that we have to pack, and that way we can come back to the hotel room, eat our dinners, and then get ready for the next day so that we're up bright and early. Another question is, last year they had a limited breakfast at the hotel. We will make sure that we find out what their plan is for August. I'm sure they don't really know, but whether or not before they have served, a nice continental breakfast. But last year it was very limited. So we'll make sure to check that out as well. And kids can certainly buy their own breakfast if their favorite cereal isn't going to be there, then they can we can purchase that at Wegmans.
And Patty and Marissa again, what is the financial situation? Do the kids have to bring cash or debit cards or credit cards or what?
Nope. VIP program, everything is all inclusive. And they do have at the hotel a store that kids could buy, a candy bar or some soda. Again, we do not promote that. And we would prefer actually no money to come because we really are buying food enough for them to take care of themselves for the week. So, and that's kind of the goal, is to set a budget up and to set their shopping list and stick to that budget. And then that's what they're eating for the week, as they would in real life.
So is it okay to send with them things that are like, for instance, Nick normally packs in his lunch a specific kind of granola bar that you can't find everywhere. It's okay for him to bring things like that with him? Absolutely.
That is not a problem. Yes.
Okay.
Just make sure you put his name on the box.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely dietary issues. We try to really work around, if it's gluten-free, casein-free, things like that. We really try hard as well to do that. But if there's certain favorite foods that are hard to find or that they really would prefer to bring from home, that's not a problem.
Okay.
So,
and hold on one second. I just want to make sure. I think Nick had a question. And I just want to make sure that we answer that real quick, because I think he tried to go a while ago.
Okay.
So I was actually going to add something to a previous answer. It was mentioned that the hotel has Wi-Fi for like computers and video game systems. I just want to add that the Nintendo Switch in particular is often difficult to connect to hotel Wi-Fi because it doesn't have an internet browser. So just if that's relevant to you, just be prepared for that.
Thank you.
That is relevant. Thank you, Nick. And I also at the hotel Wi-Fi depends on where you are in the Sonesta as well. So I wouldn't bank on having amazing Wi-Fi, because depending on how close you are to like the main building, it could be great or it could be a little spotty.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah. Thanks, Ms. Warren. Jeff, did we have something to add?
So, like, for people with allergies, just try and make sure, like, if, like, severe allergies to, like, peanuts, not to bring anything that can give them the bad, severe reaction. Just make sure it's, like...
For all that, and make sure with our roommates, we will discuss all of that prior to making our menu. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because that's a big thing with some students, like with their allergies, like allergic to peanuts or stuff like that.
Good
You're
point.
right. Anybody else have any other questions?
Do we miss any hands raised or anything? I can't see them, so I'm not
No,
sure.
I think we're good. I haven't seen
Well,
any.
actually, Marissa had another question, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
So regarding the room situation, if there are roommates, there, she's just not clear on, are there two separate rooms or there's a room and she rooms with somebody and then there's a counselor in the middle? How does that work?
Sonesta has what's called doubles and triples. The doubles is when you walk in, like Miss Spiella was saying, there's like a living room and then a smaller kitchen. To the left is a room with a full-size bed and a bathroom. And then to the right is another bedroom that has, I might think it might even be a king-size bed with their own private bathroom. So that's a double. That would be 2 participants and 1 staff on the pull-out couch. The triples have the king-size bed to the right, but to the left, and a bathroom, but to the left, they would have 2 twin beds and a private bathroom. So there could be some participants that would be sharing a bedroom and have their own bed and then sharing a bathroom as well. And obviously it would be, you know, gender.
Well, yeah. Yeah, she's, I mean, it's a new experience for her. So she's just trying to figure out what that scenario would be.
And we will, you know, Marissa, we can show you that when we go to Sonesta Suites, we can show you the different suites and what they'll look like, so you'll get a better picture.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
one
just
reason
used to
why
having my like own space because I'm not used to sharing like a room with anybody.
Yep. But this is trying to see what you, because in the future, I mean, it's very possible you will be sharing, you know.
It's just something I have a lot of anxiety about. So.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay. And we're going to work through that anxiety. We're going to do that.
Okay. And Marissa, you can always talk to me too, since we're going to be there together. If you ever need anything, I'll be there.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that.
Jeffrey, you're the best.
I appreciate that, Jeffrey. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? And again, we will have another Zoom meeting, week 3, that will go over in more detail about the Sonesta Suites itself. So if you have, I mean, you can ask us questions any day, that is fine, but we will hopefully be answering and reassuring you with that Zoom meeting closer to the time. And you'll have a better idea of what's going on.
And don't forget, as Ms. Seal said earlier, on that first Friday, we do try to take you to the business partners that day. We do try to end the day at Sonesta so you can see a few weeks ahead of time how it's set up, what they look like, so that you know what to expect moving forward, so it's not a surprise when you show up there on Sunday for check-in. So just keep that in mind too, so you guys will get a better idea of what it looks like in person, hopefully that first week. Okay.
Mary, did you and Nick, Mary, did you and Nick get your question answered about transportation?
Well,
sort of.
I think pretty much. Plus, Nick said that he was talking about it with his bus driver. Apparently, she's going to be providing the busing for the.
Okay.
So.
I'm just reading your questions. So, if you have any specific questions about that, reach out to us.
Okay.
I will inform you that Coatesville transportation in the past has been pretty unreliable, so that might be something that has to be dealt with.
That's pretty much why I provided transportation this year. Was Coatesville was so messed up at the beginning of the year. I just started off driving him in and then continued doing it.
Okay. Well, just reach out to us and we can work that out. Make sure it runs effectively. Yeah.
Give them a call as well. I mean, it's.
I'm pretty tired of driving, so I definitely don't want to do it.
Totally get it.
Try to communicate with the bus drivers themselves, and then we can also call the transportation and make more of a fuss there as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Right.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. I don't think there was any more questions or hand raising. Sasha
right.
and Michelle, I'm
Great.
looking through it and
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
I'm looking at everybody and I think I've had all of your kids, which is awesome in the past. So I'm super, super excited about this. Like really excited, and I know the kids are too. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out and email, call, do whatever you need to do. We're around to help.
Absolutely.
Good.
Great. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
everyone,
everybody,
for
for
your hard work.
coming.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you
everyone.
guys in July. Have a good night.
Sasha, thank you, Sasha. Thank you,
No
Michelle.
problem.
Have a good night.
Good night.